Why does the momentary thrill of a new purchase always decay into the crushing weight of regret? You grind for hours to earn currency, only to have invisible forces strip it away in seconds. You believe you are the master of your wallet, but you are a slave to a chemical lie. You aren't buying happiness, you are renting a distraction. Stop letting impulses pilot your life. Join our simulation. Visualizing the user interface. You enter the marketplace sector. This is not a physical space. It is a high-bandwidth data stream designed to overwhelm your sensors. The environment renders in seductive neon wireframe. Every product on the shelf emits a hypnotic pulse. Diagnostic scan initiated. Your willpower CPU is currently operating at 60% capacity. You focus on a luxury chronometer. Immediate spike in network traffic. The object injects malicious code directly into your optic nerve. Override logic protocol. Alert. Thermal limits exceeded. Your logic centers are throttled to prevent overheating. System shutdown. Motor control is rerouted. Your hand involuntarily produces the credit chip. The swipe is executed. The glitch is complete. Initiating biometric handshake. Retinal scan verified. Neural pathways synchronized. Identity confirmed. Digital burnout. Welcome to the simulation universe. Access granted. Let us examine the source code of this error. The malware is not the credit card. It is a neurotransmitter labeled dopamine. Standard users define dopamine as the pleasure molecule. This is a fatal compilation error. Dopamine is not the reward. Dopamine is the anticipation of the reward. It is a biological fetch command. In the primitive build, this command ensured survival, forcing you to hunt for calories. In the modern build, corporations have hacked this API. They trigger the fetch command with notification badges, scarcity timers, and neon visuals. Your brain simulates the joy of ownership before the purchase occurs. But once the transaction executes, the simulation ends. The chemical recedes. The data reveals you are not chasing satisfaction. You are chasing the promise of satisfaction. You are running a legacy driver in a hostile environment. Executing main program. We will now run 2 parallel simulations to demonstrate the inefficiency of your current operating system. Simulation A, the consumer loop, current status. You trade your primary resource, time, for a liquidity token called money. This exchange is inherently inefficient, yet you compound the error. As soon as liquidity enters your account, the dopamine hack activates. You purchase the upgrade, the better car, the designer interface, the premium housing skin. Observe the data. The moment the transaction clears, the hedonic treadmill mechanic initiates. Your internal happiness baseline resets. The new car is no longer an upgrade. It is now simply transportation. The new phone is just a device. The spike flatlines. To achieve the previous high, you must spend exponentially more. This is an infinite loop of diminishing returns. You are building a tower on a foundation of quicksand. Your willpower CPU burns out trying to maintain a lifestyle that generates zero residual data. You are a pass-through entity for wealth, transferring it from your labor directly to the corporations running the hack. Simulation B, the producer protocol, optimized status. Now, observe the optimized code. The architect feels the same fetch command. The biology is identical. The difference is the routing. When the producer detects the dopamine spike, they do not open the store application. They open the asset terminal. Instead of purchasing the liability that depreciates to zero, they purchase the code that replicates. They buy the stock, the rental property, the digital product, the skill. They get their chemical reward not from spending the currency, but from deploying it. In Simulation A, you are the battery powering the matrix. In Simulation B, you are the architect building your own server. Every dollar you spend on a want is a soldier you have executed before it could fight for your freedom. Calculate the opportunity cost. That $1,000 phone is not just $1,000. Invested at a standard 7% return over 20 years, it is $3,800. You did not spend $1,000. You deleted $3,800 of future freedom for a device that will be obsolete in 24 months. This is not a purchase. System self-destruction. We cannot delete dopamine. It is a root-level dependency for your survival. Without it, you would not eat, reproduce, or build. However, we can install a firewall to filter the malicious fetch commands from the genuine ones. Initiating protocol, the friction firewall. Corporations invest billions to remove friction. One-click ordering, saved credit card data, Face ID payments. They grease the slope so you slide into poverty without resistance. You must reintroduce friction. Action 1. Delete the saved payment cache. Go to your browser and app settings. Wipe your credit card data. Force yourself to physically stand up, walk to your wallet, and manually type the 16 digits for every single transaction. That 60-second delay is often enough time for the willpower CPU to cool down and abort the process. Action 2. The Grayscale Patch. Your hardware renders millions of colors to mimic the vibrancy of ripe fruit, a primal trigger for reward. Go to your phone's accessibility settings. Activate grayscale or black and white mode. Turn your vibrant digital mall into a dull, utilitarian tool. When the red notification badge is gray, the urgency evaporates. You strip the malware of its camouflage. Action 3. The 24-hour latency rule. For any transaction exceeding $50, you are now legally required by your own internal law to impose a mandatory latency period. Add the item to the cart, then close the browser. Set a timer for 24 hours. If you still want the item tomorrow, it may be a valid need. If you have forgotten about it, you have successfully quarantined the virus. Action 4. The Cost per Life Calculator. Stop calculating cost in currency. Start calculating in life units. Take the price of the item. Divide it by your honest hourly wage, after taxes, after commute costs. That $200 smartwatch is not $200. If you make $20 an hour, that watch costs you 10 hours of your finite existence. Is that plastic strap worth sitting in a fluorescent-lit office for a day and a half? When you view the price tag as a slice of your life, the buy button looks less like a reward and more like a penalty. Install these patches immediately. Control is not a feeling. It is a system. Network ping initiated. I require a diagnostic report. Access the communication logs below. Identify the last item that successfully hacked your willpower CPU. Was it a piece of hardware, a textile skin, or a subscription service you never use? Naming the glitch is the first step to deleting it. To ensure you receive the next firmware update, synchronize your connection to the network now. End transmission. The Wealth Simulation.